Everyone, I realize I'm a little bit far back here and I feel extremely big all by myself on the actual live on my own. Normally, I've of course got Magali here with me. I do have your chats down here. So if you have anything you want to share or ask me or pop in and tell me where you're coming from, then give me a shout because it's lovely to know who's in here chatting with me. I've got a couple of big reveals today. We've got our Grianchloch shawl. The actual final shawl is over here, so I get to share it with you. We've got the actual winner for the overall mystery knit along. So hopefully she's in here watching. And if she is, we'll get to tell her that the prize for the final Grianchloch big prize is going to be a shawl kit of your choice. Now, the photographs we've shown was the ice cloud shawl, but we decided to open up a little bit so you can actually pick any shawl that you want. So I will tell you that in a little while to make sure that if somebody's going to pop along, then you know that, yeah, you'll be here before I jump in. Just looking in here. Hi from Newfoundland, and we've got Ruth from Omaha. Fiona from Scotland, nice to see you. And you enjoyed doing the shawl. Oh, fantastic. I want to thank all of you for your reviews of the shawl. You may have noticed that we've now got a new review section on the website. So about 5-6 weeks after something is delivered, it now sends out a review request. But the great thing about this one is there's now the ability to add photographs and videos into it. So it actually means that we'll be building up this lovely big bank of images that people can see for different patterns if they're thinking about doing them, and all that good stuff. So like if there's anything you do want to review, you're able to just kind of pop in and just add a review in there. Or even if you've done one before and you want to throw a photograph up, it would be fantastic because it means that being able to see the garments or the shawls or the piece of knits before you get started makes a really big difference. You can see them on different sizes and different colors with different yarns and all that good stuff. So it makes a really big difference. Hey, Elsa Louise, nice to see you there. And Diane from Florida. A lot warmer than here. It's actually very cold here again today. I don't know what's going on. Spring has decided to just take a total miss. So as well as the Grianchloch shawl today, I also want to talk a little about the Celtic Knits Club, because we've had the first, I was going to say the first pattern, but it's the first set of patterns for the Celtic Knits Club has revealed today. I'm going to share with you something special that came with the club as well. That came from Sean from Badly Made Books, a specially designed notebook. It's something that he's just getting started on, and it's not in widespread production yet. So you're one of the first people to get this special notebook that he's put together. So I will talk about that as well. So lots of stuff there today. If you have other questions, as I said, just pop it up there in the chats and I'm going to kind of get to it as well. But first of all, would you like to see my version of the Grianchloch shawl? Yes, yes. All right, here we go. So I'm going to stand back here so you can see it properly. Here is my full Grianchloch shawl. And it's, as a lot of you have kind of been saying, this is as light as air. It's really light, really fluffy. So when you put it on, it feels like you're wearing nothing. This is probably one of my favorite styles of shawls because it's not too wide. This is the full width, but because it comes down into a point, it feels long rather than wide. I don't want to kind of knock off the microphone, but you can see you can easily wrap it around a couple of times. So it's really, really wearable. So the colors that I had done for mine, my Vivacious 4-ply here was Pebble Beach. And then I'm alternating between two versions of Capriccio here. So you can see one is kind of the primrose and the other one is a marble. So they're both very subtle. And when you hold them next to each other on the actual, when you're holding them next to each other on the skeins, they don't look like much of a difference. And then as you start striping them, you can really see the very, very light pink color and the light gray color coming through. So the shawl started off over here with all of my stripes here. I'll come down a bit further. All of my stripes in short rows coming along here. This section is my waves, and my favorite part is it's almost translucent because of the fact that you've got this lace weight mohair in between. It's just Yeah, just kind of translucent, really, really light and fluffy. So there's several sections of that. There's 1, 2, 3 sections, 4, sorry. And then we're ending with the butterfly stitch. There was somebody up in Knit Hub who did the butterfly stitch and the stitch just above it after they gathered it. They went ahead and put a bead on it. It was fantastic. I mean, if you're on here, let me hold this up here so you can see it a bit more clearly. This is the butterfly stitch. But yeah, they popped it on into the top here. And then finally you come back to the edging at the very top here, big, big, long edging. So you can see how it makes a very, very generously sized shawl, but it is incredibly light, easy to wear, and just, yeah, I'm kind of in love with it. And I actually think it's so light that you kind of fold it up, tuck it into your handbag, and you'd have it for anything that you want out. But if you're curious and you haven't joined in, pop into the website under Grianchloch and you'll see all the different reviews, different photographs popping up. Even if you're not a member, you can also go into Knit Hub underneath the Grianchloch and you'll see all of the posts with photographs so that you kind of get a feel for what it looks like with big variety of colors and shapes and variations that people made as they went through. Let me have a quick look. All the shawls, this is from Alexandra. All the shawls are beautiful. You're still reworking Clue 2, but it's coming along. Excellent. Hey, Liz, nice to see you there. Yeah, Fiona, it's lovely. It turned out really nicely. Camilla is like, it looks like air. It is just, it's kind of hard to describe. It's just got this weightlessness to it, but it's still nice and warm to wear is the fantastic thing. Hey, Jeanette, nice to see you here. So I've just gone through the Grianchloch shawl. In case anybody is wondering, Grianchloch, I probably said it to you before, it's the Irish for a quartz stone. So it's 2 words that are morphed together. So Grian is the word for sun, cloch is the word for stone, and the 2 together means quartz in Irish. So very often with Irish words, that's how they're put together. It's 2 words where maybe it's where it came from or what it sounds like or what people think of, and then they're kind of mushed together to make the actual word in Irish. There's something I do want to show you here. It was one of the Laura. I asked Laura to pull up a shawl kit for the Grianchloch, and she pulled up one of her favorites, which is she likes subtle color combinations, which I actually think works really well with this shawl. So this is the denim one and the pressed flowers, and you can see it's got a light, gentle combination, but you can probably imagine how nice that would actually look like in having this. It's similar, actually. It's like a combination of the 2 ones I have here, but it would just be in one color. So instead of alternating between the 2, you'd have this going through all the way through. So we still got, like, we don't have all the kits, but we still have some of the kits up on the website. The pattern is available just as a pattern. The workshop is separate. So you may not need the workshop, in which case you can just jump in and get the pattern, either get a kit or get something for yourself at home if you've got stash that's going to work with it. Now, I want to make the announcement. I want to let you know who has won the Grianchloch Grand Prize. So hopefully you're on here. Otherwise, I will pop into Knit Hub and let you know. It is Liz Sanders. So congratulations to Liz Sanders. I will send a message up to you later. But if you are here, let us know. And if you know what shawl kit you want, give us a shout. Otherwise, have a look through the website and think about what you'd actually like to knit, what shawl you'd like to knit next. So congratulations, Liz. Elsa Louise, I've got half a question from you. You asked me, could I, but I'm not sure what you were saying, could I too? So just pop up the rest of it there. It was probably in response to something I was saying, but I can't remember. Rebecca, you have to leave, but you love the pattern and the videos. Excellent. Thank you very much. So would any of you like to go see a little bit about the Celtic Knits Club patterns now? So the first pattern has launched from the Celtic Knits Club, or the first set, and this is called the Sherkin Set. Now, the idea behind this is it was the theme for the actual Celtic Knits this time around was the islands of Ireland. So I was trying to figure out how to put that together and how I was thinking of it. And first of all, I was thinking about the islands themselves and their history and the traditions. And then I actually went with more physical for this particular set, particularly for the hat. So when I think of islands, I think of two extremes butting up next to each other, because particularly when we're down in Cape Clear, you've got these sheer cliffs and tall rocks, so it's very vertical. And then all around, you've also got the waves lapping up. So in the hat, in the Sherkin hat, I was trying to do a combination of what happens where you've got, this is the staghorn cable I have at the front, and then the idea being this is the cliff face or the front of the side of the island. And then the other part of it here is like the second part of the island where you've got those waves coming up along the side. So this is a wave and knot pattern here. And it's actually not a cable. It looks like a cable because there's a series of increases and decreases. And these, they're called knots. They're basically just very, very small bobbles. So you're making a lot of stitches and then decreasing them all immediately. But I think I prefer the word knots because it looks more like a knot with this, but it's got ones that look almost like little stems coming up with this, and then you've got your waves in between. So it's a very, very satisfying cable to knit. And then this is one of my new favorites. This is the fishtail cable, just 1 by 1 cables running up each side. So and then at the very edge of the hat, you've also got a mistake rib. So it's a I could be wrong, 2 by 2. I believe it's 2 by 2, where you've got the standard knit stitches, and then you've got basically moss stitch running in between them. And this is one of the exclusive colors for the club. I'll put it up over here. It's our jade color. And the other color that came, because you either picked one or the other, and the other one is lime. So I will show you. I did the mitts and the lime so you could see each of them knit up separately. Now, if you're not a member of the club, you can still get the digital club. And if there's extra yarn, there's a couple of the colors that we do have extra in. So you can send on a message to us if you'd like to request some of the colors. But we don't have, they're not up on the website. They're not available for public sale until this is closed. So like next autumn would be when they would be up for sale. But as a club member, it's one of the nice little bonuses of it is that you actually get to jump in and try out some of these new colors for the first time. Now, if you want to go ahead and do some of the colors from the website, or you may have some of these at home. This was one from last year. The Rowan, I think, would be really nice in the Sherkin hat. And this is a Studio Donegal. This is soft Donegal. And it's similar to Jas, but it's 100% merino and it doesn't have any of the mohair in it. But this color, I think, is going to be really pretty as well for that Sherkin hat. Let me look down here, see if there's any... you would like to see the Celtic patterns. The jade and the pattern is so gorgeous, Jeanette. Isn't the jade lovely? It's actually quite hard to photograph it, but like the amount of people when they got this coming through their door, they're like, I absolutely love the color. It's a lovely, rich, really interesting green color. Mel, you like it? Oh, good, good, good. Camilla, you're going to knit the mitts for your son in the Jas turf. He wore the ones from the previous club to bits. Oh, that's impressive. Liz, you've started the rib for the hat and you like how the lime is knitting up and you're going to knit an oscal in it. Oh gosh, that would be pretty. Yeah, a whole cardigan in this color would just be gorgeous. Oh, so pretty. So that was the first one. This is the Sherkin hat. And then there is mitt pattern to go with it. And of course, the mitt pattern, you don't have the same amount of stitches to work with. So it means that I had to make a decision on what stitch I was going to do. And I reckoned the staghorn, there's quite a lot of patterns out there that use staghorn for mitts. So I thought I was going to do something different. I'll put these on so you can see it a bit more easily. So I went and did something different, and I did the wave and knot cable for the pattern. Back of it is stockinette stitch, and the edging of it is that mistake rib. So you can probably see that pretty well there, how you've got your rows of knit stitches, and in between you've got moss stitch. So both of these, they're all in small, medium, and large sizes. The sizes I've shown here are all going to be the medium size. And generally speaking, for fingerless mitts, I would actually recommend downsizing a little. And if you're in doubt about where you fit, always go down a size, because they actually fit a little better when they're snugger. So I decided to experiment a little with a few different techniques in this. So we had the unusual ribbing. We've got this one up here. And on the edge here, I don't know if you can see it, on the thumb, it's just stockinette stitch. but I've done an Icelandic bind off on it, which kind of folds out the wrong way, and it almost looks like a reverse stockinette stitch I-cord, which I think forms quite a nice edging. And I also deliberately kept, because people's gauge when they're doing small little circles like this tends to tighten up, I kept the stitches quite wide there. So if you like your thumb a little snugger, you can always just decrease before you do that, which will bring it in a bit, but it doesn't, this is sliding up because I don't have it all the way down. But I personally kind of prefer the thumbs a little looser. So that's why I left with a little bit more stitches, in case you're wondering here. And there is one more surprise that I want to show you here. So if anyone who's in the club will probably, you've gotten the book from Badly Made Books. And what it is it's his book stick. And then it came with a series of elastics and then some folded bits of paper. Now it looks like a deconstructed notebook because that's exactly what it is. But he put a video together where we actually showed how to tie the knots. And in fact, somebody has said that it's a knot that can easily be slide loose and in and out. I hadn't done it before and I haven't actually tried it yet. So I got to go try that one. And there is a series of notebooks that you can then slot into the elastic. The advantage of it being that those notebooks can be expanded and contracted. And we've actually got a folded out section that you can, that all of the actual charts for the pattern have come in. And each of the installments that come after this will actually be sending another one of those large pages folded down with all of the charts for you, so that you can actually, if all you want is the charts, you've got it all printed out already. But the special part is I am doing a knitted book cover. So this one is not finished because it's going to be a book cover of 2 parts. It's going to have half of it is in this half. And then the second, you can see I've just trapped half of it in the back here. And this is a provisional cast on. And the other half is going to be coming in the next installment with the second stitch pattern, where you can use the other yarn going the other direction. Now, if you don't have enough yarn left over, there will be more in the second installment and you can add that into that one. But I just thought it might be a nice little addition to somehow pull something a little bit knitted into the whole club as well. Let me show you when we open it up. So this is the booklet. This was, I put ones where there's little corners folded over to hold it in. There's also an option of a flap. You've got, this is the part that can pull out. And then these are all the sections that are just slotted in underneath those elastics. So you can actually build this out yourself. So if you've got waste paper at home, you can pull out one of these elastics, slot it in under, and keep using these notebooks. So if you filled up a section of these, pull this out, staple it together, put it aside, and then slot another section with some more paper in underneath here again. So there's all sorts of possibilities in terms of being able to expand this out. The stitch pattern here, you could do the same one on the back, or you could go ahead and the next one up, you could actually do that on both sides as well if you want to keep it all the same. But yeah, you can see the provisional cast on across the back here. And one thing I haven't done that I think could be really fun is knitted tags to put in, and just put little cables or leaves or some small little knitted tassels. Haven't gotten around to that. Maybe by the end I might pop it in, but like, even if you do very small swatches, you could pop that on and just tie it in with a string, or kind of attach it to the bottom of the elastics and things like that. So you can really customize these notebooks and make them your own. Truly would be a knitted notebook, but this is the stick down the back, and that's where it gives it a bit of structure. It's where all of the elastics attach into as well. So it's a very, very multifunctional little notebook that can kind of keep, it should be you could use this forever. Like everything is changeable, so that you can swap out elastics if they go, or swap out the paper, even the cover for that matter, if it gets a little bit battered up. So if you've gotten one and if you think you're going to make a lot of use out of it, let me know. I'm very curious. I'm just looking down here. Where did I miss? Liz, you started. Oh, I saw that. Yes. The ribbing is just gorgeous, Camilla. Yeah, I love that ribbing, because I did that before. There was a sweater called the Parcel Sweater that I did for the Twist Collective many years ago, and I it may not have been this exactly, but it was a very similar kind of mistake rib. And I remember thinking it was really interesting because it does the job of ribbing, it keeps it flat, but it doesn't draw it in as much as conventional ribbing. So if you don't want something that draws in, but you just want it to lie flat, those kind of mistake ribs are a really good option because they look very, very interesting. They're a bit more fun to knit than a standard rib, which can be a bit boring after a while. And it still allows all of those columns to flow very smoothly up from there. While cottage knitting, you test knit the shawl, and it's absolutely fabulous. One of your favorites ever, and you're an avid shawl knitter. You use the Caprito mohair, and you can recommend. Oh, I'm so glad you liked it. As I'm always a bit biased when I'm knitting, so it's nice to know that on the other end it's enjoyed as well. And it is quite daunting when I'm designing for a mystery knit along, because when you're doing mystery knit alongs, you can't just do one shawl pattern all the same. There has to be kind of 3 distinct sections, but trying to do it where it doesn't feel like they're cobbled together and that it's still one cohesive shawl, but yet 3 sections that are interesting knit with something new to do is actually quite challenging as a knitwear designer. So that's how you end up kind of, trying to figure out how can you not overcomplicate it just for the sake of the mystery, but still make it interesting. And it's hard to do. It's harder than you expect. But I was happy with this one. I will admit I did like it, and I think I'm going to be robbing this one for myself, for my own wardrobe. Camilla, you were thinking it's a new design, not finished. You make sense now. Yes, it does. This one is definitely, it's not quite finished. The front of this, it's not even, you can see it's not actually even, it's not woven in. It's only half blocked because the front part hasn't been fully blocked here. So when I was putting this in as well, I wanted to make sure it was a little slightly undersized because I wanted it to kind of stretch to fit over the corner of the book, if you know what I mean. So trying to do that while at the same time you don't end up with pulling in too much is a challenge. Jeanette, the line is beautiful too. It really shows off the stitches. It does, doesn't it? Yeah, I think with the line, they really kind of pop out. You can kind of see here what it looks like. I'm going to hold this up. So if any of you are actually in the Celtic Knits Club, next Tuesday is going to be when we're going to have our Zoom launch, and I will have Shawn for Badly Made Books with us. So if you want an extra demonstration of the knot or anything like that, or you want to know a little bit about the history of how the book got put together, keep all your questions or send them in to me and let me know, because he's going to be there for I'd say half of it, and then the rest of the time we will talk about the patterns, and I might go into detail with showing you how to work some of the stitches on the needles and things like that. If you can't make it next Tuesday, it's like next Tuesday is 4 o'clock Irish time, which is going to be noon in the US, because at the moment there's only a 4-hour Eastern Standard Time in the US. At the start of this month, the US, your daylight savings time kicked in, but the 31st is when that happens over here. So we've got a 4-hour rather than a 5-hour time difference at the moment, which is very, very confusing. And it's gotten me caught every single year when it comes around to the Celtic Knits Club, because it always falls in that window for the first installment. I get caught every year. So this time around, I was prepared. So I have not forgotten that that's happening. Let me take a look down here. Oh, thank you, Mel. That's really nice. Mel was saying that the designs are enjoyable by both beginners and advanced. That is the ultimate goal, because I want the patterns to be accessible for everyone if possible, so that if you pick it up and you know how to knit and purl and you know a few basic stitches, there should be enough information there that if you're willing to take your time with it, because obviously if you're learning it, it's going to require a little bit of ripping and reknitting a few times. But that if you're willing to take your time with it, there's enough information there that you can learn as you go through. So knowing that it's accessible for people for a big range of abilities or where you're at with your knitting journey is really, really important to me. So if there is any other questions for me, just pop them up here, because I think I've probably shared with you what I want to share. I don't think Liz Saunders, who was our winner, is on here. but I will make sure to actually pop her on a message shortly so that she will know that it's happening. The other thing you might want to check out, if you are, well, you're all on YouTube right now. On YouTube here, you might have noticed over the last few weeks, we started a new series called Ask a Knitter. So when I'm doing that is like, they're fairly short, like less than 10-minute videos, where I'm taking a particular topic and I'm working through different aspects of that topic over, particular installments of that series. So the first one, we've been looking at different questions I get in relation to garment construction. And when that's finished, we'll move on to the next series. But if there's a question in relation to anything, it might be yarn, garments, stitch patterns, whatever it might be, send us on an email, pop it up in here, let us know, because we're trying to build out those series. And like, I would like to have a new one every month with, maybe 7 or 8 new videos each month, talking through whatever topics you might like discussed a little bit more in depth, or just kind of talking around it. So because it's an Ask a Knitter series, come ask me, let me know what you want to know about, and I will do my best to answer it if I can. We've got Fiona, you have an unrelated question. Do I have any plans for designing an aspirational knit? I may. I may. The final installment of this club, we're going to have, there'll be both a wrap and there's going to be a sweater. I am hoping to do a slightly more complex sweater this time round, time permitting. The wrap should be a little bit more straightforward, which means that if the sweater feels a little out of your comfort zone, then there will be the wrap available as well. So hopefully that one will fall into the right category. The one thing that I can get caught with sometimes is the jas, the stitch, the gauge is quite big. So it's a heavy iron really. So that can sometimes mean that it's harder to get a bit more complexity into it. But I am in my head, before I've gotten started, the idea is it will be more of an all over stitch pattern, if that's what you mean by aspirational. So hopefully that is going to fit into that category. And what would probably also fit into that category maybe is we've got a spring knit along that I'll be launching I think it's about 11th of April, but like it'll be in the first part of April, where I'm looking at some stitch patterns that are of interest to me, with combining them with interesting construction. It should be pretty straightforward to work. It was a very complex pattern to write, but that usually means that as you knit through it, it should be manageable. So that will also be of interest to you. So that is going to be the cardigan, which will be the upcoming spring knit along, which will have a couple of different options in it. And then hopefully the end of the Celtic Knits, the final pattern. It's in the dream stages right now, but I'm thinking of doing something a little bit more complex. So we'll see how that goes. Libby, hey Libby, you're wearing your Grianchloch and you love the mystery knit along. Thank you. Oh, it's really like to hear that. I think that people seem to be really, really enjoying the finished shawl coming out of it and the whole process of the actual knit along as well. Libby, you can join the Celtic Knits Club Digital right now. You won't get all of the physical parts coming in, but if there's particular colors, you can send us on a message and you can actually get some yarn for the ones coming up. So you absolutely can jump in for the digital at this point. So you'll find it on the website. Just pop onto Stone Stitches and you'll find it up there. And Libby, you're knitting your Galway blanket and you're looking forward to the upcoming blanket club. Although it sounds like you're going to be pretty busy, Libby, if you've got the last blanket and the next one. So you won't be short of knits. I'm looking through. Yeah, Deb answered that as well, saying that you can jump in for the last one. Kath from Staten Island, and you like the mitt pattern. Excellent. I'm so glad you like it. I'm a bit of a sucker for fingerless mitts, and the jas is actually a particularly nice one because it's warm, but it's not too heavy and dense. So it's kind of nice to wear for those in between days where it's not really cold, if you know what I mean. All right, I think I've answered all the questions. Again, if you're watching this afterwards and you do have something for me, a question on what we're talked about here, or for the upcoming Ask an Issue series, then just pop them into the comments and I will answer them as soon as I can, or I'll make them into a video if it fits into the Ask an Issue series. So thank you very much. Take care, everyone.